she survives. So that's what they have been doing, and it looks so easy for us.
You even got to see a little bit of Junkrat yesterday, and that actually looked like a lot of fun. So thankfully we're not going to be starting out on Volskaya today like we did yesterday. I think that was a big problem for Supernova when they played against Gen.G. So at least today's going to look a little different.
Thankfully, I don't think that's the right word. What's happening? GLuck picking BOE against Gen.G.
Isn't there that like their second best map, something like that?
Their best map, okay. Ever since they started MVP, yes. Ever since 2016. They even brought Sylvanas to have one of the fastest match ever in Korea. 6 minutes something?
Okay, well, hopefully not a 6-minute game this time. That's what GLuck are crossing their fingers for. Let's get into it. Battlefield of Eternity, a Gen.G fan, yes. But there's Hanzo, no questions asked.
So that's the thing. We have seen lots of Phoenix first ban because it's kind of a throwaway ban, off from the Shimada brothers, letting one open at least. So GLuck expecting that, grabbing Tracer and Mount Peter, and except for the Tassadar. Yeah, I was expecting the Tassadar to be grabbed early, but here comes quite a counter against Tracer already, Karazim. And look at that, Gen.G just picking up same old picks again and again in the same maps.
And that's the thing about Gen.G is that they don't need to try anything new when they're so good at playing these older styles. And Alarak ban, okay, taking the High Lord out. This reminds me a little bit of the Varian ban that we saw previously. Not something that you're used to seeing, but has to be a result from knowing that they have that as an option.
Yeah, sometimes Rich does play Alarak on this map specifically, and we did see one Alarak game yesterday as well. So just knowing that, that's been in history, just taking that out, because once you're silenced, especially Tracer, when you dive in, you get discorded, you get silenced, and she's basically gone. You can't recall. And I think they were really considered about that silence skill.
Yeah, very, very potent. Any ability to lock down Tracer just makes her so vulnerable. That's why you don't actually see very much Tracer anymore. Not that she's totally out of the meta, but just, I guess falling off is the way I want to say. Here is Urel from GLuck, so I'm glad to see that they have, you know, at least modernized a little bit. Garrosh still sticking around as well, and now the final two picks here for Gen.G.
Yeah, when you actually have Garrosh with Urel, we'd be thinking for something like Sergeant Hammer along with Tracer. Tracer can't just get a kill off, even though Karazim doesn't have the best amount of heals. Tyrael still gives shield to everyone. So they're gonna steal that away. It was basically going to be Sergeant Hammer, very, very likely, possibly higher than 80% that GLuck was going to finish out with the Sergeant Hammer. So they just steal it because they have the hero pool and it fits their style right here already with the Karazim, with the giving the speed boost as well to the Sergeant Hammer for the escape sometimes. So GLuck, their plan A seems like that has been destroyed. What's their plan B?
Well, you could see Overlord's face there as Sergeant Hammer was locked in. He might have looked a little bit nervous because that, of course, is a very key part of their composition, or would have been if it had been open. Do you think that having to pick that away from GLuck hurts Gen.G's comp, or is that just going to fit pretty well?
No, it doesn't really hurt them. They can probably just have all the pokes they want. They have even more poke with Hanzo in this case, and Tyrael Blaze just enough to peel and give some shield, provide some time to actually escape in their back line. And the bunker is just the right tool against the Tracer as well. So Chromie against the Sergeant Hammer. Okay, that's okay. We did see that a few times, and one in Volskaya as well, and it did work, but that was Reset playing the Chromie onto the other hands now.
Right. We also saw a Junkrat as a counter to Sergeant Hammer yesterday, and that just looked fantastic. I'm not sure if it was just the matchup there, but another, I guess, option. Either way, I guess Chromie kind of fulfills the same basic idea. Sergeant Hammer pretty stationary. Chromie's going to have a good time with that.
It was an option yesterday. We had the 3-lane map, but we're on to BOE, and I think that's why, because Sergeant Hammer is going to have less of a part to actually solo push all the lane by himself, we're not going to have that lane phase too much into this BOE, so they went with the Chromie, just trusting with the skill shot. I think that was the important part of picking Chromie here.
Well, they are going to have to trust quite a bit in that Chromie, and I guess in their ability to adapt Urel into their team compositions. As here we see game number 1 of our best of 5 series, our first series of the day. GLuck in the blue taking on Gen.G in the red.
So GLuck really trusting the skill shots of Chromie, and the teamwork along with Tracer. But which target do you actually have to find on? Hanzo? Okay, I could see the point, but only Hanzo.
Well, I was going to say, like, if you try to target Sergeant Hammer, there's a lot of utility to allow her to escape. Once you get high enough level, obviously, you're just going to unstoppable immediately and speed it out of there. I guess the problem with targeting Hanzo is that, I mean, he's also just going to be staying really far back and is, in general, pretty mobile. So, I don't know if you can really hope to hit him with Chromie skill shots. There's got to be a larger plan at work here for GLuck that maybe I just don't see.
It is a Dragon Breath. Chromie, and it's not the most common one for sure, but only against Sergeant Hammer it has happened a few times. And it works well because once she's on the siege mode, you can't really take some time to actually dodge. If you want to Z out, then it actually adds on a cooldown, so it's good for Chromie and the rest of the teammates to actually grab Hammer right after. So yeah, this is a fight, but I actually...
Whoa, Sake! Hello? Please respond to Error 404 Malfurion. Not found. He's out of there, and even Overlord is forced to go back and heal. What? What happened?
I was going to say I want to take a look at the top lane, but I was wrong. Our Absorber was right looking at this lane, and meanwhile this was quite damaged from Reset just pushing out with the siege mode. And by the way, guys, that baldy guy is a support, not an assassin.
Tell me more about that, GLuck.
He's a Wolverine now, so he is a DPS, and I can understand. He does a little bit more damage, maybe 0.001.
Have you ever seen the movie Red Dawn, GLuck?
No,
it's a classic American movie. Also has Wolverines in it, much like this. So let's watch. Try number 2 here. Attempted fighting here in the mid lane. It's gonna go about the same way. This time it's Overlord that just gets bopped. Whoa.
Even before Reset, Siege then did the damage with the range. I was quite questioning because they lose a lot in the wave clear. That's why they were getting pushed all the time. And they do have Irel top, but Tracer, Chromie, they don't really do too much wave clear unless Chromie actually uses that Dragon Breath on at the center of the wave.
Yeah.
That means that she can't really get the stack, she can't really do the damage onto the heroes.
Right, when you're going Dragon's Breath build, you really want to stack that as quickly as possible. Oh wow, Rich, I was definitely a little worried there for a second, but he does stay alive.
There will be chances like this, because Rich, just knowing the characteristics of him by now, everyone,
as a player,
including us as a players as well, and he will overstep a few times. He will try to bait, and sometimes that becomes a mistake.
Yeah, that was the weird thing against Supernova yesterday is everybody on Gen.G just kept getting caught out, especially Rich. So, I mean, maybe that'll open up a little bit.
And the rest of the team actually clears up. He becomes the bait for the team in a way.
Bait, by the way, yeah.
But because it's Chromie, long range, Chromie doesn't really have to get close to Hanzo. Tracer can recall. So there will be chances for GLuck to get kills onto Hanzo and maybe more into Sergeant Hammer as well. Look at that damage with the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah.
A little bit not enough because of those armor.
Yeah, the armor is super important at stopping that. Of course, we don't have heroics just yet, so nothing super crazy. But I gotta say, Reset, he's playing this pretty well. Now, let's watch Asgard as he rotates down, starting this fight off, but can he get deep enough into the back line? Reset hits the Z button, boosts out of there, and Rich is safe as well. Ooh, scary Chromie shots come out, but all of Gen.G stay alive.
That was way too close. Look at the Immortal there. Chunking down now slowly, a little bit, but only Tracer. They're moving on to a defensive mode, putting on damage, some them damage and pressure onto Rox or Sake. He's a support. Remember, guys.
Somebody needs to remind him that he's a support, not their main DPS, because he's going in there and he's already gotten 1 kill so far. But now it's the time for revenge for Gen.G. They're going to try to come back in here. Sake's actually pretty low.
Onto Sake, but he does have the ashes as well, so he's going to survive. Meanwhile, focusing onto Chromie, just making sure they have the pressure so Chromie doesn't hit the perfect shots. DT might just sacrifice for the Immortal.
As you see, they're on a Rockstar to keep him from getting into the back line, and that's going to do it. First Immortal will go to Gen.G.
They have a really tough team comp to race for the Immortal. I think they tried too hard to build into a team comp with you can assassinate onto Hanzo, because you will want to go get those kills, but that's not really happening. And you lost your Sergeant Hammer. I think that's what they were really looking for. And with the Chromie, they can kind of go against the Sergeant Hammer, but on this map, the objective is so strong. You have to think about the Immortal race all the time.
Overlord kind of waiting in the wings here, being very, very sneaky, trying to come in from behind. Right now, it should be scouted out, but it might be all alone. It's going to have to jump Slink as far back as possible. Not a lot gained from that play.
They can only delay a little bit. That was about it. Look at Asgard. He's trying to jump in, look for some chances, but those skill shots connecting. Pushes, reset. Let's get the pulse bomb. That will be a kill secure with the throw as well from Garrosh. Nicely done.
Yeah, very well played with that Righteous Hammer, and Asgard's still going in, trying to sustain. Sake running out there. See if Rich is able to kite backwards quickly enough. The answer, of course, is yes. Rich now. Tell him, okay, calm down. Rich, he's getting in there, but that was a nice pick onto the Sergeant Hammer.
But during this chase, the Immortal actually did a lot more damage to the wall. Maybe it actually opened up the wall as well. What is Tracer trying to do? Can't get the kill, but dies alone by blinking out himself. Rich is very low, but he doesn't really care. He's still going in.
Sake, I think that's his second kill of the game. Really does need to be reminded that he's the support. Very, very good play so far by Gen.G. They do get caught out a little bit, but at what cost, right? That Immortal chunked down, I think, half health on the keep. So I think that's pretty worth.
Lots of disastrous options for GLuck. They spent a lot of time chasing, and they actually... It seemed like they got more kills, but they're actually out. They only got 2. Gen.G got 3 because of the first kill. First 2 kills. And in terms of EXP, they pushed a lot more. They're closer to 10. So you don't want to be near them right now.
Yeah, fighting for the Khazra Impalers up there. I don't think that's something GLuck really wants to commit to. They do get poked off, and that camp will go to Gen.G. Trying to see what might be the next move here. Anywhere Sake goes, I'm just expecting somebody to blow up. And we're a little bit farther into the game, but now a 2-level lead for Gen.G is really going to help him, double quotes, support.
Slowing Sends, just to stop them from approaching, but most of them actually has a dashing skill that's not going to slow them too much. They can escape as well. So
you can just see how far Chromie is forced to stay back from all of that. Of course, doesn't have the rest of her team. And this is like a little bit of a trade, but I think this could go terribly for GLuck as they push forward down in the bottom lane and now have to come back up to try to contest these Immortals.
Hanzo with the scatter. It's pretty quick on this Immortal. As GLuck, without the Sergeant Hammer, they lost during the draft. Seems like they are not really finding the best position for them to
you can tell
for this Immortal phase.
They really kind of had to rethink their draft there at the very end. Really good realization there by Gen.G to say, hey, this is the key to their draft, steal it away, and then leave them with only Chromie as kind of their second option.
It's a tough situation for GLuck. It seemed like they didn't really have a good plan B once they lost the Sergeant Hammer. Even if Revka comes into this game right now for GLuck, I don't think it's going to be too much of a help. And that's J-Hao. That's J-Hao, by the way.
The mid-game substitution will get him out here eventually. Maybe he can work his way out to the team. They call him up and like, it's an emergency. We need your help. Yeah, not an option. So Gen.G for now, just keep looking better and better. Asgard has done a good job initiating, keeping at least Sergeant Hammer a little bit honest, but I don't know how much he can do here. He's trying to chase down the rest of Gen.G.
Basically ignoring everything. Asgard taking way too much damage alone. Sasaki tries to focus. The defender absorbing a little bit of Grace Sanctification to buy time. With the bunker as well. 7-sided kind of wasted there. But BFG doing the massive damage along with the stun with the Hanzo's arrow. They're chasing in a little more. Jeff Propulsion stopped by the time, but got the CC. So they're continuing to put in the damage onto the rest of the members. Tracer gets the pulse bomb, but not finding the kill.
Yeah, that recall was really not going to put her where she wanted to be. Asgard does stay alive through all of that, so very good ult timing and usage, but I mean, it's his job to start a fight that his team can win, and that just doesn't seem possible.
Focus from Gen.G, how they... You have to understand the position. They always put the objective in one side because it will actually stop them. Asgard getting tossed and deleted once once again. Seems like the score is going down. 9 minutes. Can they finish before 10? No, they got a lot more time. It's going to be past 10 minutes. Is it? No! 9:59!
9:59!
They have done it!
The buzzer, a pre-10-minute win for Gen.G.
Oh man, that's game 1. And
not quite the fastest series ever, but they're warming up, GLuck.
It is quite scary to hear that they're warming up. And GLuck has fallen into their own trap. And Gen.G just had the perfect read of what they wanted to do on this map. Irel, Garrosh, basically you want that Sergeant Hammer. Was it really worth picking Garrosh after the second ban phase actually already happened? And they already had Tyrael in their pick for Gen.G. So maybe just picking Irel with Sergeant Hammer before Gen.G got the opportunity to steal could have been a better chance. So instead of stealing it, because everyone knew that was going to be the Sergeant Hammer to finish the draft.
Right, and the idea of picking Sergeant Hammer late is that you don't want her to get super hard countered and you don't want to quote-unquote give it away, right? But there's no secrecy there at the end. Gen.G just totally knew exactly what they were going for, picked it away, and at that point, GLuck are just like, Chromie. And I mean, it was okay, but certainly never got rolling.
Yeah, Chromie actually did quite a lot of damage, but you have to find the closing kill. You have to find the kill.
Yeah.
After those skill shots, lots of times as you guys would also play Chromie, you do a lot of damage, but you always want for us. Could someone just go in and pick up the kill? He only has like 30 or to 50
I mean, they had like
HP.
Tracer, right? To like dash in, get the kill, recall out. And I'm like, okay, I kind of get the idea as a closer, but even that never worked. I mean, they had one really cool combo as Asgard dove in and they killed Sergeant Hammer up in the top lane, but that happened once.
Yes.
Or bottom lane,
Yeah,
right?
that happened once when the Immortal was pushing, so, and Gen.G, they were all together, so they thought, okay, we can just push this pressure a little bit more. Asgard made a nice flank and grabbing the Sergeant Hammer. That was the only cool kill that we actually saw from GLuck, but at least they tried and got the kill like that. I think that we should have seen a little bit more of those moments with Irel just flanking from the side, but Irel was always just saying, hey guys, I'm going in because I have defenders, but Gen.G just ignoring those moments to get the absorb. But so
anytime as a caster you have to say, yeah, well, at least they tried. It's like